and welcome to my first time doing the Progeny reading, which is a variation of the original child's chart reading, right? But in this case, we are going to see what your child's connection is in the bigger bloodline sense. So progeny is your offspring. I sort of got the message, the ping, that I need to tell you not only about your child's gifts and challenges in this life, like what they came to do so you can understand their sense of purpose and help them like grow into that, right? But also that you needed to know what they are working on in the grander scheme of your family line. What is being cleared for your ancestors and what is being prepared through your child for your descendants. So this will be a little bit more in depth than I originally thought we were going to do, but I am open and sort of love this idea. I didn't think I was going to do any variation of anything going forward that was like a chart reading of any sort as I was getting into teaching more. But when it came to the children's charts, I'm like, the children of the future. It was all my Whitney stuff. Like, no, there's something important about that. Imagine how much good could be done if you knew what your child needed to heal before they grew up and figured out after they had like ruined their life and did all sorts of crazy stuff, right? What if you could learn how to heal your child's childhood wounds while they're sort of like getting them, kind of? Like if originally the issue was your child never felt heard and you didn't know that while your child was little, but then they tried to come back when they're 30 like, you never listened to me. Nah, that's not going to be conducive to your grandchildren or their children thriving versus trying to survive and fight old demons. The goal with your family line is that you fight the battles ahead of time so that the people that come after you are strictly builders. They just add more branches onto the tree. So with that being said, I have your child's chart already ready here. Haven't looked at it. I'm going to be looking at it so like, you know how a doctor comes in the room, they have the whole thing laid out. But first, I'm actually going to start with the cards. I'm going to start with those details about the connections to the family line. And then I'll get more in depth with the specifics about your child. And I'm getting into something about that is going to be interesting how it comes together. And this will be completely different for both children because they're fighting different battles. So this will be interesting, right? I'm going to start with, come at, who Haru came here to be. This is for Haru Elijah. So, who did Haru Elijah come here to be in this lifetime? And I'm going to pull for that same question from two separate decks. Well, that's bold. That caught me off guard. I mean, did name the kid a room. That's some serious business. When I saw it, I was like, he means business. Like, that name is strong. So, who did Haru Elijah come here to be in this lifetime? And that's just one of the cards coming up here. I'm about to tell you the whole energy. Oh, I bet you can't tell him nothing. Can't tell him nothing. You know it all. This is so funny because it's like, how old is this kid? Like, I entered the information into my system, but I didn't like ingest it or anything. I just put it in there because I like to channel fresh as soon as I see it. I don't know how old this man-child of yours is, ma'am. I don't know how you do it, because every word you got, he got a million words for that one. And sometimes you just got to say, damn, he was right. And it's probably very challenging for you as a parent. So me making the reference, because everything I say from the moment I start filming is usually connected, right? So when I said earlier something about your child's childhood wound possibly being that they never felt listened to, it might have something to do with this, but in this case, it'd be because he talked too damn much and he needs to listen because you're trying to teach him something. But guess why that is? Your child is ancient. I say Asian. I mean, that was the first race, though. It was the Asiatic races, and then came the ones in Africa, and then all the others were built off of those two imprints, if you must know. But he's a teacher. He's been a teacher. He's used to being in charge, like, for lifetime after lifetime. Everybody goes to him for information. Because being a know-it-all is sort of his thing. But what's interesting in this lifetime is he wanted to build back up to that. Imagine a lifetime where you have to recognize that your words are worth something. So the other cards, right? Besides, we got teacher and messenger, right? Teaching others through the messages that he gets. But the engineer with the God is like he's building something. He came to build something with that intelligence. There is something important I'm getting about him recognizing how many times in his life people try to stifle his intelligence. And this is beyond just you being his parent trying to tell him what to do, like clean your room. And he's like, cleaning is oppression. Like, no, not those little things that he does, right? I'm talking about him as a man. People trying to fit him into a box. Or to paint him out to be a character that's not him, based upon assumptions. So he will develop himself over time. Like the first card was blacksmith, and I was like, what's this? Because it says forge, melting, shaping, tempering. But him being built through his experiences. Him recognizing the power in his words and that. There was never anything wrong with his words. Or him being in his strength. He was just in a place where his power was something that intimidated other people. So something at some point that during childhood he felt like was something wrong with him will become something that he realized it was his strength. It was never anything that was wrong with him, and it particularly has to do with his mind. And this could be at school. Wherever he is not getting proper praise for his intelligence, because this feels very DIE, affirmative action-y, like... It feels racially motivated. I was trying to find ways to say it, but it feels racially motivated. So if you got him, Haru, right? And then you got Kyle next to him, it feels like there might be some cases in his life where he doesn't win the award or something he's supposed to because somebody doesn't want to make Kyle feel bad about how he stands up next to. You dig? Like there were some wins that were supposed to be his that he's going to realize early on were like fixed. Him fighting against the fixed system. Imagine wanting to be oppressed so you can break out. So you can build yourself. It's like he's building himself into the Malcolm X messenger. Is the energy here. And your child came with this big energy of it's not even just for... You know how I'm saying bloodline, like your family tree? This is not even just for your bloodline. Like whatever your last name, whatever his dad's last name is, like not just even for those chains. These are for all those that came from like my same DNA strand. So he's aiming to help a group of people. People that y'all might not even know y'all were related to. But if y'all did a DNA test, like, oh, that's my 7th cousin or something. Like all around the world. Like just people that Ancestry.com will put you together. He's going for the big family tree. He wants to change something about the way the branches function. I'm like, because he's like, imagine wanting to rewire the inside of the family tree. That's what he wants to do. So, what is this connection to the bloodline? What is he healing in the bloodline? That's what I'm going to go for next. What is he healing for the ancestors? What is he healing for those that came before? And I'll do the same question next for what he's doing for your descendants, for the ones that will come after him, his children and their children and children afterwards. That the lie, oh, that's touching. He's coming to tell them you have been lied to about your gifts and your intuition and your God-given abilities. Somebody made you feel less than, and that's because they were afraid of you. He's going to share the message of what he discovered as being an intelligent, strong, powerful man. And the importance of having a strong partner by your side. The importance of having a strong relationship as a foundation. And guess what? That comes from having you as his first partner, it feels like. To be completely honest. The importance of having somebody support you. Like the rest of the world can be against you in something, but if you have somebody who understands you, who grounds you and letting you know that you're doing the right thing in a world that is not set up for the right thing to thrive, that'll be the root or the foundation he needs to go out there in the world and do what he wants to do. Very Jesus, very Magdalene type of energy. So that inner child wound can't be avoided, by the way. And I don't know what specifically the issue like with his father is, but maybe that has something to do with his decision about how important marriage or being in a connection is going to be. This is connected to his past life, is what I'm saying here. He was afraid to speak out in the last life, so it's very important for him in this life to speak up. Like he didn't stand up at a time where he felt like he should have. And I don't want to say like he clowned out, because there was a lot of reasons that he did not stand up, but he knew better. It feels like, rock with me on this explanation, because it's sort of like, ugh. If everybody was slaves on a plantation, in last life he saw that the group that was about to escape was about to get caught by massa and stuff, I won't say it was as bad as he snitched out the group that was trying to leave, but he didn't say anything when he saw massa on his way to like get them, is the best way I can say it. He did not stand up at a time where he should have stand up and could have made a difference or could have helped. So it's deep in his soul in this life to take back his power and make a difference. And guess this one was what? How is he helping the ancestors? Something that he didn't do changed his family line. So he is one of the ancestors, so to speak. Something he did or did not do kept some of your family in slavery way longer than they would have been. That's why in this case it's important that he liberate others to change what was said, change what was taught. Your family has always had strong spiritual gifts, and a lot of times they were demonized for those. That needs to be shifted as well. So, sense of strength and power when you are sort of in a world where you're known as a weapon, and embracing that without becoming what your enemy is, right? But then also putting back the love and family and marriage and the solid household is what he's doing to heal something for the ancestors. So what will he be doing for the descendants? What will he be healing for future generations? A leader that everybody in the family sort of looks up to. And in this moment, I don't know if you've seen the movie Coco, but like the whole movie, the dad, they thought he ran away from the family, but it turns out that he like got killed doing something like he was supposed to be. He was trying to be a good guy. But the whole family like lifted him up and revered it. Like, yo, that's our family member. That's like our guy. That's who we look up to. He is the grandpa, the great grandpa, that other people will come into the house and say, who's that? Because all the family members have a picture of him on the wall. The same way I would imagine like Martin Luther King's kids have a picture around and their grandkids ask about him. They're like, yo, that's grandpa. We would not be here without that right now. So he's setting up a whole like the next crop of people won't know the struggles that the ancestors went through. That's the bottom line of what I'm feeling there. And it feels like poverty is the main thing. That cycle has ended. Any blockages that were coming because of mental stuff that was keeping him back, from his kids down, those mental chains will be broken. Like they will fully embrace their power and their intelligence without fear. They will understand that other people's stuff being projected on you does not mean that it's actually your stuff. It's like they're going to have a level of psychological intelligence that the people that came before weren't afforded. There's a group dynamic I'm getting. Like family is close. Like Sunday dinners are important. There's a renewal of family bonds. Like, yo, family is like this, but it's not toxic. Like, you know how some families show up no matter what? It doesn't matter if your car broke down 5 hours away when you're on a road trip. They're going to be on the way to make sure that you get your tire changed because y'all are that tight. Like that sort of energy. A heart-based family connection. They got closed for the ancestors when their bonds were violated, is what I'm hearing. And I guess that's like when a child is taken from their mother and like moved away to another place. My mind actually immediately thought about Bird Box and the way that the mother had to call. I hope you've seen that. If not, it's a good example. Had to refer to her children as only boy and girl because she had to keep a wall between her and them for their survival. She could not get emotionally attached in order to protect them. That's a heart closing. That's staying in your root, in your body, not in your love. That pattern had been passed on. That will be cleared out of there. It's like he's creating a space for the feminine energy to flow again. So, with that being said, let's look at 1010 on the clock. What comes through in his space file? That's just what I'm going to call him now. Like, I'm literally looking at... Get the... Shorty. So I told you I added 1010 on the clock. I added all the information in the chart and I ain't never looked. The first thing I hollered about when we pulled your child's chart, I'm jammed up, girl. Hold on, let me scoot up. Was the first question when it's like, who did he come to be? The card said God, right? I was like, oh my goodness, you can't tell him nothing, right? We had a whole little tee in the beginning of this. So in your charts, logos. The logos. This is the God part of the Trinity. It's the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost is actually the sister or the daughter, right? So the logos is the way that the word of God is made manifest. The way that the energy of source is translated into something that we can understand down here as humans. Whenever I think of God, I think of Morgan Freeman, which is played like a sort of godlike character in many things. But when I went to look at Morgan Freeman's chart, his logos was next to his son. He is an embodiment of God. He came to play different roles for us to look at it that way. Like, think about it. Morgan Freeman been old the whole time we know him. That's God. He just old and timeless, right? This is your son's chart. That is his son. That is his logos. And that is his gold. And gold is like where you hit something of value in your chart. He is who he thinks he is. Okay? Ooh. Imagine his whole life, a whole bunch of people just trying to like hold him back. And that's his Saturn in second on his banks. He has an inheritance that he gets. Once he starts sharing his knowledge to people, all his wealth will get brought back to him. But before that, it will be held back by the people that he sees on a day-to-day life. People are really going to try him. But imagine that they don't know who they're trying. This is beautiful. Like, this did something for me, girl. I ain't even know. Okay, protect him at all costs. So, first and foremost, things that are standing out here to me that I just got in the card pull. He has Juno in first. Juno is like your spouse marker, where your spouse energy is. This is a husband. He's a Sag rising. Jupiter and Sagittarius are the sign of the husband. They are actually typically the sign of the male energy that comes from the logos, right? His Reiki energy, which is literally your physical healing energy that you have, he has it in his first house, and it's at the Gemini degree. It comes through in his words. He speaks healing over other people. He speaks prophecy. His turning point in life is when he realizes the power in his words that has purposely been held back. It looks like since he was 2. So it will come back. This theme will come back around for him again and again. When he was 2, it'll come back around when he's 14. And I'm letting you know the times when he's going to recognize, hold on, somebody's trying to stop me from being great. But at first it's not going to be him feeling like they're trying to stop me from being great. He's going to feel like something's wrong with him, which is why I'm telling you this. So you can give him one of them speeches that he'll one day put in his biofilm and be like, my mama told me, like, you know what I mean, girl, you need to know this, keep this. So 2, 14, and 26. Something in his day-to-day life and his school work, what he's doing, But he will also learn something transformative about what he wants to do in his career, what he wants to do in the future. And for him, he is a healer, he is a speaker, he is a writer, he is a literary genius. It feels like 1010. Didn't I say 1010 was on the clock? In his career house, in the sign of Libra, we have his Mars, which is his drive and his power, and his part of fortune, his sprinkle of luck at the 10th degree, 1010. So what that says to me, justice and liberty for all. That's his drive. That's his contract. He had to see what was happening to the people to keep them down systematically in order for him to grow up and sort of reformulate his mind on how he could be a part of breaking that system. Like he wanted to see this simulation from the bottom up. He picked your family. The other 10 in the chart, because all the things that are at the same degrees connect to each other, the other 10 in the chart was him feeling like he had to protect himself as he was growing up. Like whatever wound in the masculine energy in his home, and I said something about whatever his relationship was with his father. He needed that so he would understand what the common person goes through. Because, I mean, think about it. If you're carrying God energy, you just came for perfection. When you come down here, you want to see, like, what's the nitty gritty? You want to live. You've been up there, cool. And you want to see how your system is flowing. So if you're telling me this is the experience that I go through and this is what the average human goes to, oh, no. I need to say something. I need to do something. That's what's happening for him subconsciously. So when you see this South Node in 12th, like he might be a little bit of a loner to himself, but he is learning wisdom through experience. His mind is being formatted. That Venus in 12th means not only does he have that past life person, but his wife is like impending somewhere. He'll find her when he's out there doing his speech thing, right? Amongst the people. Probably something that he'll keep secret for a while. But his true value is hidden from himself and other people. That glorious energy is purposely being suppressed. It really feels like just like wanting to forget how great you are for a little while so you can remember why it was even great to be you in the first place. So when I said that he was doing something for a bloodline that was bigger than just his line, just anybody that was connected to his bloodline, this sun came here to do something for humanity. So the 11th house is the one that rules his Saturn. That's the collective. That means he has a hive. That's where his Mercury is. The messages that are coming through him are at the 24th degree. My stuff is at the 24th degree. I channel from outside of myself. When he steps in front of a podium or he starts to type or he uses that pen, it's coming straight from the crown. It's coming from above. This is a guru. He might seem like he don't have nothing to say to people. And what I mean by that is like he needs a lot of time to himself to recharge. But it's because so much is going through them. He needs to get in the habit of writing out his thoughts early. Absolutely. Everything you say or think has value. That needs to just naturally be his mindset. That his dreams matter. And it does not matter what it looks like in front of him right now. Something beautiful is being built in the background. Everything is happening for a reason. And that's what he just needs to know the whole time. Because there's a message like in the back of his head, like keeping him cool no matter what he goes through. That's the South Node. But one day, he's going to get propelled forward to his North Node. His North Node is to be a speaker on a day-to-day basis. To be somebody who, in a crazy way, upsets other people with their mind. But it's because he is pushing thought forward. That is what your sun came here to do, man. Have a great evening.